Hi everyone, welcome to Dividends, the show for and about your College of Business. Now, if you remember, last time we went on the road and paid a visit to the brand new Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach in McCool Hall. Today we've got two students that spend a lot of time at the E-Center, and they're going to sort of give us their perspective. The first is Nate Baker. He is the president of the E-Club and a junior?
Junior,
yeah. So first tell us a bit about yourself, your home, what made you decide to come to Mississippi State, all the good stuff.
Well, I was born and raised in Mississippi, in Madison. Of course, Mississippi State was always part of my life growing up. My parents didn't go here, but football in the South and all of that. I've always been kind of fond of it, so I came here when I graduated, and then I guess I started my involvement with E-Club my freshman year.
Well, what made you as a freshman? I mean, there's so much other stuff going on. You're getting acclimated to the university. What made you decide to just walk in the East Center?
Well, actually, I bumped into a sign literally. I was walking around McCool, just exploring campus my first few weeks, and I saw this sign that said, Entrepreneurship Club meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. I was like, there's an entrepreneurship club? So it was like an hour from the time that I bumped into the sign, so I hung around, and I went to the co-lab, and I started meeting all these different members, and the way that they thought about the world and their impact, and the way they believed in themselves, and really had a different kind of idea for how they wanted to conduct their careers was really, really inspiring to me. And I kind of found my people and just kind of kept following opportunities that presented themselves from there.
So you found your tribe.
My tribe.
All right, so, and then you sort of got into the politics of it because you're the president of the
Right.
E-Club. So how did that happen? Because you did that awfully young. I mean, usually that's sort of a senior level position, but you got involved early.
Well, it was just a matter of following the opportunities that were presented. And I saw some things that I think would be interesting if the club would do, and the current members were very much behind me in that. And I ran, and to my shock, I was elected, and I was excited, and that was, I think, April, that spring of my freshman year. And so I've been doing that for a couple of years now. Yeah.
So what does the Entrepreneurship Club have to offer students? Why would someone want to get involved?
Well, the Entrepreneurship Club lets you kind of see as much as you can, not being an entrepreneur, what it's like to be an entrepreneur, and then maybe, if you get involved in the center, you can, start your own pursuits. But it allows us to connect students to other innovative students, but it allows us to meet entrepreneurs around the community, go to conferences and things of that nature, and just in general kind of expose students to that lifestyle and maybe exploring that as a career option.
And how beneficial do you think it is to have that sort of connectivity that the students can network with one another, they can network with faculty, they can network with mentors out in the business world? How much of an advantage do you think that is for student entrepreneurs?
I think it's a huge advantage. I think that's really one of the reasons that I really find that my education here has really been worth it, because I can ask questions to any number of people from any number of backgrounds and do things with students that I can't even imagine being a business student here without, because it has been so long. I mean, I was pretty much, from the time that I was a business student, I was involved. But it's been so great. It's a huge advantage.
So where do you see yourself now, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road?
Well, it's a hard question to answer because opportunities can go in so many different directions. The way I look at it right now is I'm trying to develop myself in all the ways that I can so that I can jump on those opportunities as they present themselves.
I'm guessing, but I see you more in a leadership, upper management, administrative role, because you seem to like to sort of guide the show.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely not a techie. So I like seeing the opportunities and potential in other people and seeing how they can kind of connect together to do something. And that's something that very much excites me, and that's something that I like to encourage.
Are you surprised at the growth of the E-Club? I mean, I've been around, I got started in it a few years before you did, and I remember when it was a handful of students, and now it is over 100. Does that surprise you, the growth? I mean, you're more plugged into, obviously, the people your age than I am. It seems like there was a need there that wasn't being met, and we did not calculate how big that need was.
Definitely. I mean, I think that you're right. There was definitely a need. And I think that students, when they're studying, whatever they're studying, when they see students kind of taking control of their own careers and doing that exciting new thing, and they realize that we have resources at Mississippi State and they can meet other students doing that, they jump right on and start doing that. So that's why I think that it's been so successful.
Well, and when we talk about the growth, we started with one branch of government, which was the E-Center, the club, the E-Club, but we now have 2 other clubs as well. Can you give us a little background on those?
Sure. So the 3 student organizations that are kind of in our ecosystem is the Entrepreneurship Network, which allows us to kind of connect students together, the club. And then we have the Hub, which focuses on app development in the tech world. So if you have that kind of tendency and you want to kind of do those things, there's a whole group of students that helps you learn how to code and all of those things that we need to do. And then we have the Makerspace, which is the factory, which allows students to kind of prototype things in the physical space. So you have access to 3D printers and workshops of various tools that you probably couldn't get otherwise as a student. And we can kind of, when you look at all 3 of those organizations together, you kind of find an ecosystem of people from different backgrounds and skills and pursuits coming together just to make some interesting things happen.
And what I like about it is it gets us out of our silos. You don't have all the techies over here, all the engineers here, all the business people here. They sort of mix and match and find people to complement their strengths and
Probably
weaknesses.
the biggest benefit is it allows you to kind of expand your horizons and meet with other people that you typically wouldn't have in the traditional student setting.
And that's the way it's being done in education these days. So Nate, I want to thank you for being with us today and thank you for all you do for the E-Center. We'll take a break. Be back with more in just a moment.
The Entrepreneurship Center exists to give innovators here at Mississippi State an edge. Our goal is to provide startups with the resources and support they need to reach the marketplace and ultimately achieve success.
Success for us was growing our company from 2 founders to 8 employees.
Success for me was turning my personal lifestyle into a corporate partnership.
Success for us is turning academic research into applied engineering solutions.
Success for me was turning my passion into a profitable opportunity.
The success of our entrepreneurs is a team effort. It takes a strong support infrastructure of people to encourage innovation and explore new ventures. We need business leaders to mentor and guide these visionaries through the practical challenges and do everything we can to give them a shot at real success.
Welcome back to Dividends, everyone. My next guest is Anna Barker, and she is a fixture at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach, and we are looking forward to introducing you to her. Anna, good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, quickly, a little bit about yourself. Where's your home?
Well, I'm from a tiny town in South Mississippi called Monticello. It's about an hour south of Jackson. I have been a state fan all of my life. I think my stepdad sent me to my first day of kindergarten in an MSU outfit. So I always knew I was going to come here, and came because he did and because I was raised coming to the football games, and then just happened in the last year, in my final year at state, to find the Center for Entrepreneurship.
And so you were watching TV one day, and that has led us to where we are right now. So tell folks the story.
Yeah, well, I was watching TV in Mendenhall, Mississippi at 19 years old, and there was a man standing on his roof holding a garden hose, and this wildfire is roaring towards him. And it's being shot from a helicopter angle, and he's standing up with this water hose, just a garden hose. It's his line of defense, and he knew it wasn't going to save his home, but it was just the picture of desperation and his final vain attempt to try to save his home. And we just kept saying, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way that these houses don't have to burn. And then 3 years later, it led me here.
So you've come up with a fire suppression system that would coat the house in some environmentally friendly chemical and protect it from being burned as a fire goes around it then.
Yes, it's just an external whole home fire suppression system. It's autonomous, it's self-activating, so no one needs to be there to activate it or put it on, because so often, I know that we don't know much about wildfires, but we've obviously seen natural disasters, and you don't have much time to prepare. You just get out of the way. And so this system could be there to stand as a defense mechanism, even if you had already evacuated.
Well, a local news station did a story on it, so let's take a look, and I think it's easier to see it in action than to talk about it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Wildfires are a major concern in the West, but students in Mississippi have taken it upon themselves to make a solution.
So we just created a system that would release this polymer in the event of a wildfire and hopefully protect any kind of residential property if a wildfire were coming through.
The polymer they're experimenting right now is on the doghouse right here. So the doghouse won't actually light on fire, but a piece of wood like this without it on there will. Barker's idea sparked the interest of engineering major Kagan Crawford. The team worked together to create the sticky substance.
Engineers and business partners coincide in the real world, so this really brings the university feel of every major being separated to the real world.
They used a diluted version of the chemical during the trial run, and it still made an impact on the flammable materials.
We're super excited it didn't catch fire and that we think it's actually going to work.
All right, so the polymer is apparently so safe that you can even light your hand on fire. And if the chemical does become a household item, homeowners won't have to worry about it hurting the environment or themselves.
It is non-toxic, non-corrosive, and biodegradable. It's OSHA and EPA approved, and the only fire polymer substance to ever be approved by the U.S. Forestry Service.
In Starkville, I'm Shelby Sandstone, WTVA News.
So we know it works now. We want to thank the Starkville Fire Department for helping. But before we get to what's next, how did the E-Center help you get to that point?
I think the E-Center, I think it's fair to say, it's the only reason we could have ever gotten to that point. It was just a research project almost to me for a while. It was something I was interested in. I was very passion driven because it was devastating to see what was happening. And then I came to the E-Center. I met Eric Hill and told him, is this crazy? But I think I had this idea, and he just ran with it. And kind of like Kagan, the Kimmy I've been working with, was saying on the video, the E-Center takes you and kind of works across all the different departments and gets you all the resources internally through MSU and externally as well to make sure that you have the best chance at succeeding.
All right, so Anna's going to spend the summer out with the Forest Service out west, working with the firefighters out there and refining and fine-tuning this, and then perhaps we'll see it on the market very soon. I want to thank you very much for being here, and we're excited about your invention.
Thank you for having me.
That's going to do it for this episode of Dividends. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.